These days, work is done with and through people. Very little happens by ourselves. There is a proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So in order to have lasting impact, we need to learn not just how to work with people, but how to influence others, to inspire, to motivate and persuade. This isn't about waiting until you have a fancy title, your own team, or you've started your own company. It's about appreciating that we're influencing people all the time by our words, our actions, our body language, and our presence. Hi, I'm Samantha Mackay, lead trainer at Truity, and today we're talking about one of the most important leadership skills you need today, alongside of communication, self-awareness, and learning agility. You don't need to be a leader to develop this skill. So what is influence and how can you develop it? Influence is the ability to impact others' decisions and actions. It requires confidence, communication skills, and a clear purpose. We build these skills by observing others' body language, by actively listening to what's being said and observing our own responses, as well as giving feedback with the purpose of learning instead of correcting. It's also developing the ability to manage our emotional reactivity and influence our own behavior. These skills can be tricky to develop in a remote working environment because you need people to practice on. So think about who you need to build relationships with and how you might be able to do that in your current situation. So now let's factor in the Enneagram. As you've probably realized, each Enneagram type has a very different communication style. Learning to influence means being able to adapt to these different styles as needed. And if you want more detail about influencing with each of the 9 types, take a look at my article linked in the video description. But let me give you a sense of how that differs depending on the Enneagram type you are talking to. For example, with 8s and 3s, it helps to be direct, clearly asking for what you want up front. That doesn't work for 9s. With 9s, you need to slow down, create harmony, and actively listen. You need to be indirect and give them time to think about it. With types 2 and 7, it helps to be more positive and appreciative. With 2s, you'll need to be a little more personal, sharing a personal story and how you are feeling. With 7s, allow time to brainstorm the options, talk about possibilities, before gently guiding them to prioritize which option to pursue. With types 4 and 5, you need to take your time. With 4s, plan on listening to their vision, their story, and their feelings to make sure they feel understood by you before making any practical plans. For 5s, avoid surprises. Book a meeting in advance with a clear agenda about what you want to discuss and factor in time for them to think things through before coming to a conclusion. For 1s and 6s, it helps to be prepared. For 1s, be on time for meetings, have a clear plan drafted and be prepared to discuss how to improve it. For 6s, have a risk assessment to hand and be transparent with the facts. Be prepared to answer their questions and openly discuss the threats they are seeing. Remember, you are already influencing the people around you. Now it's time to be a little more conscious of the message you are sending. Knowing your Enneagram type will help, as will practicing your own self-observation skills. To learn about your Enneagram type, go to truity.com/Enneagram to take our free test. Or to learn about using the Enneagram with your team, go to truity.com/Truity at Work.